Kristel Candelario, a young mother from Cleveland, Ohio, decided to escape. She craved a break from the daily grind. A 10-day vacation to Detroit and Puerto Rico seemed like the perfect answer. She left behind the worries and responsibilities, including her 16-month-old daughter Jailyn. Alone in their Cleveland home, Jailyn's cries echoed. No one came. A neighbor's doorbell camera captured snippets of her agony. Days turned into an endless nightmare. Hunger gnawed at her tiny belly. Thirst parched her throat. Fear became her only companion. Candelario returned, not to a joyful reunion, but to a scene of unimaginable horror. Her daughter, her Jailyn, lay lifeless. The playpen, meant for safety and play, became her deathbed. Filth and the stench of neglect permeated the air. Candelario had traded 10 days of pleasure for a lifetime of unimaginable guilt. Her daughter, her responsibility, paid the ultimate price. News of Jailyn's death ripped through Cleveland. Disbelief turned to outrage. How could a mother do this? The image of that helpless child, abandoned and left to die, seared itself into the community's collective conscience. The whispers started. Neighbors recalled hearing cries. Some dismissed them, others felt a pang of guilt. Why didn't they act? The questions lingered, heavy with remorse and unanswered. Jailyn's story became a symbol of the vulnerability of innocence, a symbol of a mother's ultimate betrayal. The community, wounded and angry, demanded justice. They would be Jailyn's voice. They would ensure she was not forgotten. The courtroom buzzed. Candelario, the mother who betrayed, sat in the defendant's chair. Her eyes, filled with a mixture of defiance and despair, darted around the room. The prosecution presented a damning case. They painted a picture of a mother who chose pleasure over her child's life. Witnesses testified to Candelario's history of neglect. The evidence, they argued, was clear. This was no accident. This was a calculated act of cruelty. Candelario's defense team fought back. They spoke of mental illness, of a mother overwhelmed. They argued that Candelario never intended to harm her child. They pleaded for leniency, for understanding, but the courtroom remained unconvinced. The evidence was too overwhelming, the betrayal too profound. Section 4. Justice for Jailyn. A community seeks closure. The jury delivered their verdict. Guilty. A collective gasp filled the courtroom. Candelario showed no emotion. Her fate, like Jailyn's, was sealed. Judge Brendan Sheehan, his face etched with sadness and anger, prepared to deliver the sentence. He spoke of the sanctity of life, of a parent's duty to protect. His words, measured and firm, echoed the community's sentiment. This act of betrayal demanded consequences, life in prison without the possibility of parole. The sentence hung in the air, heavy with finality. Jailyn's voice, silenced too soon, had finally been heard. Section 5. The Weight of Silence, a Call for Vigilance. Jailyn's story did not end with the trial. It became a chilling reminder of a broken system, of a community that failed to protect one of its most vulnerable members. The whispers continued, this time focused on prevention. Neighbors questioned their own inaction. Could they have done more? Should they have intervened? The tragedy sparked a conversation, uncomfortable but necessary, about the responsibility to speak up. The weight of silence, they realized, could be deadly. Jailyn's story became a catalyst, a call for vigilance, for neighbors to look out for each other, to report suspected abuse. It was a promise that Jailyn's death would not be in vain. Section 6. Remembering Jailyn, a legacy of hope. Jailyn Candelario should be remembered not for how she died, but for the precious life that was stolen. Her laughter, silenced too soon, should echo in the hearts of those who fight for justice for all children. Her legacy must be one of hope. Hope for a future where no child suffers in silence. Hope for a community that chooses to see, to hear, and to act. Hope for a world where every child is cherished, protected, and given the chance to thrive. Jailyn's story is a tragedy, but it is also a call to action. Let us honor her memory by working together to create a world where every child is safe, loved, and valued.